There is a cruel paradox at the heart of modern economies. The less money you have, the more you pay for almost everything. It sounds absurd at first. Surely the rich, with their designer clothes and luxury cars, spend more? They do spend more in absolute terms, but poverty carries a hidden surcharge on nearly every transaction, every decision, and every year of life. Being poor is not simply having less, it is being systematically overcharged for the privilege of surviving. Writers have called this the boots theory, after Terry Pratchett's famous observation: a rich man buys $50 boots that last a decade, while a poor man buys $10 boots that fall apart every season, and after 10 years, the poor man has spent twice as much and still has wet feet. The boots theory applies to almost every category of spending. Cheap goods are cheap because they are disposable. A low-income family buys the discount washing machine that breaks in 3 years, the budget mattress that ruins their sleep and their back, the secondhand car that devours money in repairs. Each individual purchase is the only one they can afford, yet the lifetime cost is far higher than buying quality ones. Wealth allows you to pay for durability up front. Poverty forces you to rent your own possessions from the future at punishing interest. That interest is often literal. Access to credit is priced by risk, and the poor are deemed risky, so they pay the highest rates for the smallest loans. A wealthy person borrows at 4% against assets. A poor person, facing an emergency, turns to credit cards at 30% or payday lenders whose annualized rates can exceed 400%. Banks themselves penalize small balances. Overdraft fees, minimum balance charges, and account fees fall almost exclusively on people with the least money. In the United States, banks collect billions of dollars a year in overdraft fees, overwhelmingly from a small group of low-income customers. Meanwhile, the affluent are courted with free accounts, cashback rewards, and airline miles, perks quietly subsidized by the fees of the poor. The unbanked pay even more, surrendering a slice of every paycheck to check cashing services and money transfer fees just to use their own wages. Buying in bulk is one of the simplest ways to save money, and it is precisely what poverty forbids. The warehouse club membership, the giant pack of paper towels, the freezer full of discounted meat, all of them require spare cash, storage space, and a car. A person living paycheck to paycheck buys the small bottle of detergent at the corner store, paying double per unit, because the big bottle would consume money needed for tomorrow's bus fare. Economists call this a liquidity constraint. Families experience it as the sinking knowledge that they can see the better deal and simply cannot reach it. Geography compounds the problem. Poor neighborhoods are often food deserts served by convenience stores where prices are higher and fresh produce is scarce. Cheap housing sits far from good jobs, so the poor pay with time, enduring long commutes on unreliable public transport, or with money, keeping an aging car alive because losing it means losing the job. Insurers charge more in poor zip codes. Groceries, utilities, and even car insurance can cost more precisely where incomes are lowest. And housing itself delivers the bitterest irony. Renters with weak credit pay security deposits, application fees, and rents that often exceed the monthly mortgage payment they would carry if only they could scrape together a down payment. The poor pay every month for an asset someone else owns, while homeowners build equity and collect tax deductions for doing so. Then, there is the penalty of time. Wealth buys convenience, delivery, dishwashers, accountants, someone else to wait on hold. Poverty means standing in line at the laundromat, the benefits office, the clinic, the bus stop. Hours that could be spent working, studying, or resting are consumed by the sheer logistics of being poor. And unlike money, those hours can never be earned back. Behavioral scientists Senthil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir have shown that scarcity itself taxes the mind. The constant grinding arithmetic of which bill to pay late this month consumes cognitive bandwidth, measurably degrading the quality of decisions. Their research found that financial worry can burden thinking as much as losing a full night's sleep. The poor are not poor because they make bad decisions. They are pushed toward bad decisions because they are poor, and each mistake, whether a missed payment or a lapsed policy, triggers fees that dig the hole deeper. Health may be the steepest surcharge of all. Skipping the dentist because a checkup costs a day's wages turns a small cavity into an extraction. Rationing insulin, postponing the strange lump, working through illness because there is no paid sick leave. All of it converts small, manageable costs into catastrophic ones. Medical debt is a leading cause of bankruptcy in America, and it falls hardest on those who had the least to begin with. The poor even pay with years. In the United States, the gap in life expectancy between the richest and poorest men is estimated at nearly 15 years. There is no clearer price tag on poverty than that. The law, too, is more expensive at the bottom. A parking fine that is a shrug for a wealthy driver can start an avalanche for a poor one. Unpaid, it doubles, triggers a license suspension, then a lost job, then jail time for driving to work anyway. Courts add surcharges and payment plan fees. Bail means the rich go home while the poor sit in jail or pay a bondsman a non refundable 10%. Identical infractions carry wildly different prices depending entirely on the wallet of the person who commits them. Perhaps the deepest expense is the cost of opportunity. The rich buy risk. They can take the unpaid internship, launch the business, move cities for a better job, because failure will not destroy them. The poor cannot afford to gamble, so they are locked out of the very ventures that create wealth. Savings earn compound interest for those who have them. Debts compound against those who lack them. Money makes money, and the lack of it costs money. The two curves bend away from each other year after year. None of this is a moral failing of poor people. It is the architecture of the systems around them, and the remedies are known. Capping predatory interest rates, providing free basic banking, scaling fines to income as Finland does, investing in transit and public health, and simply giving people cash buffers so one emergency does not cascade into ruin. Studies of direct cash transfers consistently show that recipients spend wisely on food, school fees, and repairs because they, better than anyone, know exactly where the poverty surcharge bites. The next time someone insists that the poor should simply budget better, remember the boots. The poor are often the most skilled budgeters among us, stretching sums that would terrify the comfortable. The problem is not that they manage money badly, it is that every institution they touch, from the bank and the landlord to the lender, the store and the court, charges them more for less. Poverty is not just a lack of money, it is the most expensive thing a person can have.